last night I made a special video, alright, on the King of Hay Vlogs, explaining the goal for Patreon for this month. So this is the first time I'm actually talking about it on a stream. Alright, so I'll reveal it to you. The goal for Patreon this month, and of course my Patreon, is patreon.com/darksidefil. The goal is, if we hit the funding level, a special patron appreciation multiplayer event. Okay? Now what is that? Well, in the past, I've done multiplayer events. Okay? What they are, usually I grab a few games, popular games, around the time that I'm doing the event, that have multiplayer components, and I set up a lobby, and I find various ways. It all depends on the game. Some games, it's easy to set up a private lobby. Some games, it's not so easy. And I set up this lobby, and I just let people join me in some multiplayer madness. Now, over the years, it's been hit or miss, okay? When I was doing this on the Xbox 360, which I used to do all the time, it was incredibly easy. Okay? It was incredibly easy. But, for whatever reason, this next generation of consoles, the ones that we're currently in, they made it harder. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But they did. So, what I've noticed is when I've tried to do multiplayer events, there's lots of trolling, there's lots of issues, and I said, you know, I would really like to play multiplayer. In particular, right now, there's a lot of multiplayer games out that people would probably like to play with me. Street Fighter V, Doom, Overwatch is coming out soon, and Uncharted 4, right? 4 great multiplayer games that I'm sure people would like to have the opportunity to play against me or with me in. But if I were to do an open event, it would probably be rife with trolling. It would be a nightmare to set up because there's so many people who want to play. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do something completely different, okay? It's going to be patron-based. So the bottom line is, for the month of May, if you pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidefil, $5 or more, but yeah, it's a requirement of $5, you basically qualify for the event. And as long as we hit the funding level of $1,250 for the month, which, by the way, I've hit it every month since I started Patreon. Some months have been close, but I've hit it every single month. I would think I'm going to hit it this month. Especially as I start to talk about this event more, and people are like, wow, you know, I wanted to play Phil in multiplayer in these games, and there hasn't really been an opportunity to do so that actually would work. So as long as we hit the funding level, and you pledge $5, you're basically in. If you want to play me in one of those 4 games, you're in. And what's going to happen is, if we hit the goal in June, what I'll do is post up a thread on my forums on thekingofhate.com. And the thread will be for 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm going to set up 3 potential dates for the event, and you'll be able to vote on what date the event will happen. And number 2, you'll be able to say what games you want to play with me. Okay? And I'm going to really go out of my way with this event to make it happen, to make it work. And to basically accommodate everyone. If I need to do it 2 separate days, split the event to 2 different days, so that way half the people can play with me one day and half can play the other day, I'll do it. You know? Especially because if I'm going to do it probably in early July, it's going to be a dead time anyway. There's not going to be any major game releases or anything, so I'll have the freedom to kind of adjust the schedule on the fly for this special event. Okay? It's the first time I'm doing anything like this. Alright? And I want to see how it goes. If it does work, and it ends up going smoothly, and everyone gets to play, and we have tons of fun during the event because of this, you know, Patreon-related screen, rather than just having everyone join willy-nilly, and then you have a ton of trolls being idiots. If it ends up being good, I may do it again in the future. Alright? It's the kind of thing that I would like to do. Now, other people do this all the time. People have been doing things with their subs on Twitch and their Patreon pledgees for years. This is the first time I'm actually attempting to do one to see how it goes. Alright? Now, I do want to also say this. I want to make it abundantly clear. Just because I'm doing this special event like this does not mean that standard fan appreciation stuff is going away. No, there will be opportunities in the future when I will be doing multiplayer with people. That is not, you know, you don't have to pledge to my Patreon to do it. And I fully understand that there's tons of people who like to watch my streams and my videos daily, and they don't have money that they can pledge. I get that. That's not the point of this event. The point of this event is for those who really want to go the extra mile to support me, but also have been wanting to play multiplayer with me for a long time and never have had the opportunity, that now they can finally do it in a controlled environment. It's different from the standard fan appreciation multiplayer. That's why I'm not calling this fan appreciation multiplayer. It's not. It's patron appreciation multiplayer. It's different. So that's the deal. That's the goal. Please check it out at patreon.com/darksidefil. You have 2 weeks left to pledge to my Patreon. I want to say thank you to any of you who may have checked out or ordered from my girlfriend's business, The Black Currant, over this weekend. If you can't check out her soaps and wax tart melts, please follow me on social media.
Excuse me. I had a burp stuck in my throat the whole time I was doing the pre-stream. It finally came up.
Please check out my Amazon associate link in the description of all of my live streams and on-demand videos on YouTube.